Some TV shows handle the deaths of cast members by replacing them. Others have killed off the lead actor's character out of a show of respect. Here are some of the series that went that way.
Television isn't supposed to feel this real. But sometimes, the line between fiction and life disappears completely. These are the moments when a character's final goodbye wasn't planned for ratings or shock value. It happened because reality intervened. Some exits were quiet. Others changed entire shows forever. One story here reshaped children's television in a way no one expected. Another forced writers to rewrite an ending they had spent years building toward.
TV might be all about enjoying a little bit of escapism, and there's no more shocking an example of this than when a beloved actor dies, forcing a show to say goodbye to the character they played.
You may remember these characters, but you may not know why their last scenes mattered this much, and that's where things get interesting. Mr. Hooper. Mr. Hooper was the gentle cornerstone of Sesame Street, the friendly owner of Hooper's store, where neighbors gathered, shared meals, and learned everyday lessons. For children growing up in the 1970s, he represented patience, warmth, and stability, quietly anchoring the community. Will Lee portrayed Hooper with sincere simplicity. In 1982, Lee died suddenly of a heart attack, forcing the producers to face an unprecedented decision for children's television. Instead of sending Hooper away, the show chose honesty. A full episode addressed his death, guiding young viewers through grief with care. Big Bird's confusion and understanding allowed children to face loss without fear or mixed messages. The episode earned a Peabody Award and set a lasting standard, proving children deserve truth, compassion, and respect on screen. That moment hit hard, but don't get too comfortable. What's coming next takes emotion to another level. Finn Hudson. Finn Hudson was the emotional center of Glee, a high school quarterback whose choice to join the Glee Club challenged stereotypes and gave the series its heart. Earnest, flawed, and hopeful, Finn's journey from jock to leader reflected themes of acceptance, growth, and found family through music. Corey Monteith played Finn with sincerity that grounded the show's heightened drama. Off-screen, Monteith struggled with substance abuse from a young age and spoke openly about addiction while working toward recovery under intense public scrutiny. In July 2013, at the age of 31, Monteith was discovered lifeless in a hotel room located in Vancouver. The cause was the combination of substance and alcohol, which shocked the fans and stopped the production. The response was, however, very careful from the side of the show. The episode The Quarterback centers around mourning, recollection, and affection, but without mentioning the death of Finn. His farewell turned out to be one of the most unrestrained tributes of television, honoring kindness and frailty. Andrew Campbell. Andrew Campbell's brief appearance on Mad Men left a lasting mark. Played by Christopher Allport, he is Pete Campbell's cold, dismissive father, openly contemptuous of advertising and his son's ambitions. That bitterness helps explain Pete's insecurity and constant need for approval. Allport was a respected character actor with nearly 100 screen roles over 4 decades. Mad Men became one of his final performances. In January 2008, he died in a tragic avalanche while skiing in California. Rather than recast, the show wrote Andrew out in Season 2, slaying him off-screen in a real-life-inspired 1962 plane crash. His death brings Pete no closure, only deeper unresolved wounds. Dr. Charles Kroger. Dr. Charles Kroger was a steady emotional anchor on Monk, serving as Adrian Monk's longtime therapist and quiet guide. Calm, patient, and deeply kind, Kroger helped Monk manage his phobias while often nudging him towards solving cases. He acted as a confidant and surrogate father figure, grounding the show's humor in empathy. Stanley Camel portrayed Kroger with subtle warmth, a familiar face from series like Star Trek, The Next Generation, General Hospital, and L.A. Law. Kamel made Kroger feel essential without ever stealing focus. In April 2008, Kamel suffered a heart attack and passed away. With the start of the 7th season, it was disclosed by the series that Dr. Kroger had unexpectedly passed away from a heart attack, which again was in line with reality. The new therapist was brought in, but still the absence of Kroger was treated with deference. The series, in a way, paid its tribute to Kamel by making a heart health PSA. Dr. Kroger continues to symbolize the fact that being nice and taking time are as important as solving the enigmas. Thelma Griffin, Angela, and Mayor Adam West. Family Guy is known for treating death casually, but when a voice actor dies, the show takes a different approach. Instead of recasting, it allows the characters to die too, turning comedy into tribute. Phyllis Diller, who voiced Peter's mother, Thelma, died in 2012 at 95. In Mom's the Word, Thelma dies from a stroke, giving her a quiet farewell. Carrie Fisher, who voiced Angela, died in 2016 and was honored in Pawtucket Pete. Adam West, Quahog's mayor, died in 2017. The show later dedicated to Adam West High School, proving it could pause the jokes and show respect. Chico. Chico was the heart of Chico and the Man, a sitcom built around the sharp, energetic presence of Freddie Prinze. Inspired by his stand-up comedy and experiences as a young Latino man from New York, the character blended humor with cultural perspective, forming an unlikely bond with his gruff boss, Ed, in a Los Angeles garage. The production of the series started with a big hit and continued to be so throughout the 1974 to 1975 season. Meanwhile, Prinze had to deal with a lot of pressure and mental health problems. He died in January 1977 at the age of 22, which resulted in the halting of the production for the rest of the season. At first, the producers decided to get rid of Chico's character by making him go to Mexico to see his father. When the series came back, a new character called Raul took up a similar part. Eventually, the series confronted the fact when Ed told that Chico had passed away. The decision accepted the loss, but also celebrated Prince's impact, thus creating a legacy that would last. Selma Hacker and Florence Flo Kleiner. Night Court thrived on eccentric characters, and Selma Hacker stood out immediately. Played by Selma Diamond, the sharp-tongued bailiff delivered biting sarcasm with perfect timing. She appeared in the first 2 seasons, became a fan favorite, and earned an Emmy nomination for her work. Diamond died in May 1985 at age 64 from lung cancer, making her nomination posthumous. When season 3 began, the show acknowledged Selma's off-screen death and addressed the challenge of replacing her. Florence Hallop joined as Florence Flo Kleiner, an odd, high-energy successor who fit the show's absurd tone. Flo lasted only 1 season. In 1986, Hallop died after a stroke and a cancer diagnosis. Season 4 explained Flo's off-screen death before introducing Roz Russell, quietly honoring 2 losses. Peter Gregory. Peter Gregory was one of Silicon Valley's strangest power players, an investor whose brilliance felt almost alien. Obsessed with details, nutrients, and long silences, he delivered deadpan insights that confused and intimidated those around him. His quiet unpredictability set him apart from the show's louder tech executives. Christopher Evan Welch played Gregory with restraint, drawing from a long career that included Law and Order, Lincoln, and The Master. His performance suggested immense intelligence paired with emotional distance, making even minimal dialogue memorable. In December 2013, Welch passed away at a Los Angeles hospital due to complications from lung cancer, which was the case several months before the series was released. His passing made the series reconsider a character who was already at the forefront of its satire. Woodhouse. Woodhouse was the long-suffering conscience of Archer, a frail valet who endured constant abuse from Sterling Archer with quiet loyalty. Polite, exhausted, and deeply human, he balanced the show's cruelty with unexpected tenderness, becoming one of its most sympathetic characters. He was voiced by George Coe, a veteran performer whose career spanned Broadway, classic Hollywood, and early television, including an early role on Saturday Night Live. His restrained delivery gave Woodhouse emotional depth beyond the jokes. Coe died in July 2015 at age 86 after long health struggles. Rather than recast, the series addressed the loss directly. Season 8 opens with Woodhouse's funeral, marking a rare tonal shift that shows even animated chaos has consequences. Arman Morales. Arman Morales was a central force on The Cleaning Lady, a precise and calculating Las Vegas crime boss whose power came from control rather than brute force. His alliance with a brilliant surgeon fixer fueled much of the show's moral tension and criminal intrigue. Adan Canto brought intensity and restraint to the role after his breakout on Designated Survivor. Across the first 2 seasons, Arman emerged as both antagonist and emotional anchor, defined by loyalty as much as ruthlessness. In January 2024, Canto passed away at the age of 42 due to appendix cancer, leaving the cast and crew in deep sorrow. The first episode of the 3rd season is about Arman's disappearance after a shootout, and the uncertainty lasts for some episodes. The character's journey concludes with the disclosure that Arman has already been dead in a car accident, receiving a gunshot that was meant for another person. The choice not to recast and rather to end the character's journey with a tragic, profound farewell based on sacrifice instead of power was made. If that sacrifice surprised you, don't blink. What's coming next is on a whole different emotional level. Donald Ducky Mallard. Donald Ducky Mallard was the heart of NCIS from its very first episode. As the team's eccentric medical examiner, he blended deep knowledge with gentle humor and compassion, becoming the show's moral anchor through years of cast changes. David McCallum brought history and gravitas to the role. Long before NCIS, he was a TV icon from the man from UNCLE, making Ducky a living link to the show's past even as his appearances became less frequent. McCallum died in September 2023 at age 90. In February 2024, the series revealed Ducky passed peacefully in his sleep, discovered by Jimmy Palmer. The tribute episode used flashbacks and quiet moments to say goodbye, closing a defining chapter with warmth and respect. Pops, Albert Pops Solomon. Pops, officially Albert Pops Solomon, was the free-spirited heart of the Goldbergs. A retired wanderer full of stories, he fueled young Adam's imagination and mischief, adding warmth and chaos to the show's nostalgic vision of 1980s family life.
George Segal made millions laugh for years as the loving grandfather on ABC's The Goldbergs.
Awesome. That's game, kiddo. Better luck next time.
Come on, Pops. Let me win at least one.
That's a terrible lesson. I'm gonna beat your ass again real quick.
His bond with Adam gave the series much of its emotional grounding. George Segal played Pops with effortless charm, drawing on a legendary career that included an Oscar-nominated role in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and a memorable run on Just Shoot Me. His timing and gentle wisdom made Pops feel timeless. Segal passed away in March 2021 when he was 87 years old, and it was due to complications after a heart bypass surgery. He had already completed his work for the upcoming Season 8 before he died. Instead of recasting, the series had Pops die in his sleep quietly. The relatives mourn the loss in various ways. However, Adam holds on to a project that they were supposed to do together. The non-existence of Pops underlines the fundamental concept of the series. Recollections maintain the presence of dear ones. Andre Anderson. Andre Anderson was one of the most powerful students at Godolphin University in Gen 5. With the ability to manipulate magnetic fields, along with enhanced strength and senses, he represented raw power paired with inner conflict. His presence reinforced the show's themes of identity, control, and consequence. Chance Perdomo portrayed Andre with a mix of intensity and vulnerability, suggesting a character weighed down by expectations and legacy. In March 2024, just before Season 2 began filming, Perdomo died at age 27 in a motorcycle accident, delaying production. The series chose not to recast. Instead, Season 2 reveals Andre died while attempting to escape imprisonment, fatally overusing his powers. His death underscored the show's central message: power always comes at a cost. Coach. Coach, born Ernie Pantuso, was the gentle soul of Cheers. Childlike, kind, and endlessly sincere, he served as the bar's emotional heartbeat rather than a traditional authority figure. His warmth softened the sharper personalities around him, making Coach universally loved. Nicholas Colasanto portrayed Coach with perfect comedic innocence, earning 3 Emmy nominations. A seasoned performer, he brought vulnerability and warmth that elevated every scene. In 1985, Colasanto died of a heart condition at age 61, just before production on Season 4. It was the decision of the series not hire another actor for the part. On the contrary, the character's death was noticed quietly. The moment was made subtly, yet very strongly when Woody Boyd came in, not knowing that Coach was dead, thus bringing the Coach's character into the episode. Woody, who was introduced as the pen pal of Coach, took the place of Coach and, at the same time, respected his memory. The character of Coach went on living in the series, and this was the proof that a comedy could deal with the issue of death without being too heavy, but still being very touching. Bill McNeil. Bill McNeil was the loud, egotistical engine of news radio, a self-important news anchor whose arrogance hid deep insecurity. Desperate for validation, Bill ruled the WNYX newsroom with bluster and warped logic, clashing perfectly with the show's sharp ensemble. Phil Hartman played Bill with flawless precision. Known for Saturday Night Live, Pee-wee's Playhouse, and film roles, Hartman made Bill both ridiculous and painfully human, blending vanity with vulnerability. In 1998, Hartman was tragically slain by his wife, and the tragedy brought production to a halt. When the show returned, Bill was said to have died off-screen from a heart attack. The series handled the loss with restraint, later introducing Max Lewis. Bill's absence permanently reshaped the show, cementing Hartman's performance as unforgettable. Paul Hennessy. Paul Hennessy was the emotional center of 8 Simple Rules, a devoted father trying to guide his daughters through teenage life. Stern, yet loving, Paul balanced authority with warmth, giving the sitcom its heart and relatable family tension. John Ritter brought decades of goodwill to the role. Already a television icon from Three's Company, he experienced a career resurgence, blending physical comedy with vulnerability and sincerity that grounded the show. Ritter passed away abruptly due to an aortic dissection at the age of 54 in September 2003. 3 episodes of Season 2, which were shown before the production was halted, had been completed by him. The death of Paul was directly dealt with when the series came back. The name was shortened, and James Garner was cast as Paul's dad. The show opted for mourning and transformation instead of replacement, and this was done with truthfulness and restraint, thus paying tribute to Ritter. Owen Granger. Owen Granger was a commanding presence on NCIS, Los Angeles, serving as the gruff assistant director of operations. Cynical, yet protective, he often clashed with the team while quietly acting in their best interests, becoming a steady force within the series. Miguel Ferrer portrayed Granger with layered intensity. Known for his extensive career in film, television, and voice acting, Ferrer brought weight and weariness to the role, suggesting a man shaped by regret and years of hard decisions. Ferrer died in January 2017 at age 61 after battling throat cancer. At the time, the show had already begun addressing Granger's declining health. Initially written out as leaving the country, the series later revealed that Granger died peacefully while traveling alone. The quiet farewell honored both actor and character with dignity and restraint. Debbie Wolowitz. Debbie Wolowitz was never seen on The Big Bang Theory, yet her booming voice dominated the show. As Howard's overbearing but fiercely loving mother, she embodied guilt, devotion, and comic excess. Her constant shouting became a defining gag that shaped Howard's insecurities and fueled many of the series' biggest laughs. Carol Ann Suzy gave Debbie her unforgettable presence. A veteran character actress, she appeared in numerous TV and film roles, including a recurring part on Kolchak, The Night Stalker. Her timing and warmth made Debbie instantly recognizable, despite never appearing on screen. Suzy's death was the result of a long fight against cancer, and she was only 62 when she passed away.
Actress Carol Ann Suzy, most recently best known for her role on CBS's The Big Bang Theory, died in Los Angeles Tuesday from cancer. Although best known for her work on the popular sitcom, you won't get far if you're looking to see her face.
The show decided not to replace her with another actor. However, Debbie died quietly in her sleep. The subsequent episodes mixed up laughter and sadness, transforming a constant joke into a touching tale of death and kinship. Edna Krabappel. Edna Krabappel was more than Springfield Elementary's sharp-tongued teacher. She was a key part of The Simpsons' emotional backbone. Through sarcasm, burnout, and moments of warmth, Edna reflected the weary humanity of educators, grounding the show's absurd humor with something real. Marcia Wallace voiced Edna for over 20 years, bringing sharp timing shaped by a long career. Before The Simpsons, she played Carol the receptionist on The Bob Newhart Show for 140 episodes and became a familiar TV presence. Off-screen, Wallace was a breast cancer survivor who spoke openly about resilience and humor. In 2013, she died of pneumonia at age 70. Rather than recast, the show retired Edna with a respectful tribute. Her absence was later acknowledged, ensuring she remained part of Springfield's history. You've seen how one character left a mark. Now, wait until you see what happens when the heart of a show disappears. Leo McGarry. Leo McGarry was the moral backbone of the West Wing, a steady leader whose authority came from integrity, not power. As White House Chief of Staff and later counselor to the president, he balanced idealism with hard reality, earning deep respect as the administration's guiding force. John Spencer portrayed Leo with empathy and restraint, creating a character so admired that real-life political figures praised the performance as aspirational leadership. In the final season, Leo's journey expanded when he became a vice presidential candidate. In December 2005, Spencer, who was the star of the show, unexpectedly died of a heart attack during the production phase, and this mishap compelled the writers to alter their original ending. Instead of recasting, the series opted to slay Leo's character and weave it into the plot. He passes away on the night of the election when his co-candidate becomes the president. Thus, the series' end is powerful and emotional, revealing the weakness of human leadership. Some TV deaths never fade, because they weren't just written into a script, they were shaped by real loss. If any of these moments hit you, let us know in the comments which one stayed with you the most, or if there's another farewell we should cover next. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind television's most unforgettable moments. And if you're ready for another powerful watch, check out the next video on your screen now. It takes this topic even deeper.